What's going on, everybody? I'm here today to talk about Steve Sarkesian and the Mike Stoops hire that did not happen. So, yesterday, apparently Mike Stoops was being looked at to become the linebackers coach at the University of Texas. Steve Sarkesian, the new coach, has been there just under 2 weeks. He's trying to fill a coaching staff. A lot of big names, a lot of good names coming in right now, and there's a lot of optimism behind the University of Texas at this point. Well, I guess there wasn't a lot of optimism behind Mike Stoops possibly coming in. If you don't know Mike Stoops, he's currently an analyst at Alabama. He's been there for a couple of years. And before that, he was the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma when they were they were terrible on defense. This was back in 2018. Kyler Murray was the quarterback. Very explosive offense, but defensively, they just really gave them no shot against the other three teams because they made the playoff, but they got pretty much blown out by Alabama. So, Steve Sarkesian has been on the Alabama staff as a coordinator, the offensive coordinator, and has known Mike Stoops. And when he came over there, I guess he saw something in Mike Stoops and wanted to bring him in. Well, somebody shut down that hire, apparently. And apparently, Mike Stoops thought he was getting a job. He told the university that he was going to be taking the job at Texas, only for that not to happen, and now he's back at Alabama. This is all in like a 1-day, 2-day span. So the question you got to ask yourself is, did Steve Sarkesian just have a change of heart? Did he really sit down and think about it and say, this ain't the best route to go? And, he's gone after Montana State's Jeff Choate. He's the guy that he ended up choosing to come in and coach the linebackers. Or was somebody involved with the University of Texas, whether it be the athletic director, a booster, somebody that's got a lot of money and a lot of pull into the university, override Steve Sarkesian's decision? Now, we don't really know the answer behind that, and I don't think we would find out that answer, especially from Steve Sarkesian. He's not going to go in and say anything. But we know how Texas is. We know how Texas likes to have their hands in things, and they like to have a say in who's brought in on that football staff. Now, to a point, I guess I could maybe see it from that point because, hey, you put a lot of money into this. I want to have a say in who's the coach. But you got to ask yourself, at some point, maybe let the guy that you hired go out and make the decisions. You hired him to do a job. Let him do his job. You don't know a damn thing about football compared to what Steve Sarkesian knows. Do you think you're better qualified to say this person's a good hire or this person's not a good hire more so than Steve Sarkesian? And it's not like they were bringing Mike Stoops in to be the D coordinator at Texas. He was going to coach the linebackers. I mean, he obviously got the D coordinator position at Oklahoma for a reason. Now, I know his last name's Stoops, so I'm not sure what that reason is. But the fact is already you're interfering with things that a guy that you hired to do a job, you're trying to interfere with his decision making. You can't do that if you want to win. You guys know this, and this is why you guys, and I'm talking to Texas fans right now, this is why you guys are where you're at. You don't know better than Steve Sarkesian. Let the man do his job. You have to let him do his job, or you're never going to have a chance to win. This has always been the problem with this university. It does not make sense, if you think about this logically, why you guys cannot compete year in and year out. You're in the state of Texas. You have unlimited resources. You have unlimited funds. The high schools and the talent in the state of Texas are phenomenal. If you could just put borders and lock down that state, you would be in the playoff discussion every single year, but you're not. And you're not because you let people interfere with the man who's supposed to be making the decisions. I'm an Alabama fan, okay? I'm going to tell you this. When Nick Saban took the Alabama coaching job, one of the agreements was, you're going to let me run this program the way that I want to run it, and you're not going to interfere. And Alabama is not nearly as bad as Texas, but Alabama's got a little bit of these problems too. They are very impatient when it comes to football. Now, the last 14 years have been, phenomenal years, obviously. But the fact is Nick Saban had to deal with this a little bit himself at the beginning, but he shut it down, and he shut it down right away. That 2007 season when Alabama was 7-6 and they lost to Louisiana Monroe, he had a press conference called the 9/11 press conference because he made a reference to 9/11. And you should listen to that press conference and the things that he said. It basically ended this way: you just got to get used to the way I do things. That's the way it's going to be, and it's not going to change. And here we are 14 years later, been to 8 national championship games, won 6, sent countless players into the NFL, several first-round selections. You know the Alabama story. There's no need to talk about it. But this is my question to you. If you want to win, let Steve Sarkesian do his job. Do you think you actually know better than Steve Sarkesian? Give me a break, people. Give me a break. If this is what you're going to do, if this is the way you're going to act, you're going to have the same damn results. So before you go in there and throw your opinions and start demanding things, who you want to be the coach, what you want, take a step back and think to yourselves, wait a minute, we haven't won in a long time. Why haven't we won in a long time? Is there any possible way that me as a fan or me as an athletic director or as a booster could actually be affecting the university in a negative way? If you're honest with yourself, you'd probably realize that the answer is yes. That's all I'm going to say about this. You guys, please hit the subscribe button. I know half of you might not like it because I'm talking about Texas, but I'm trying to get something going here. I really appreciate the support. We'll talk to you guys later.